is up, everybody? Welcome into the DNVR show, the DNVR Nuggets podcast.
Goddamn vote does not realize he's muted. Let's go. Holy smokes, was that anticlimactic.
Vote fumbling the air horn on Casual Friday, man.
Dude,
Unreal.
no one has fumbled the bag. No one has
here.
fumbled the bag like that. Holy smokes.
Man. All right, we'll try to move past it. We'll try to move on.
I can't. I'm going to take myself out.
Guys, we are presented here by DraftKings Sportsbook. The logo should be up there in the corner somewhere. Use code DNVR when you sign up and download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. There it is. Tons to bet on this weekend, mainly the NFL, which is maybe the best sport to bet on.
We're just putting people on blast early on. Vote, yaya, no one's safe.
Yeah, everyone duck. Eric, take that hat off before we make jokes.
Yeah, you're next, D-line. Watch out.
Fucking bring it, dude. I don't care.
I'm Harrison Wind. Let me introduce the cast I've got with me today. To my right, it's Brendan Vogt.
What's cracking, fellas? How we doing? How's everyone doing? I haven't seen you guys in a bit.
I know. Brendan's been in an undisclosed portion of the country that some of us call the least coast.
Yeah, it's undisclosed because we just don't like talking about it.
It's dude.
Better not to mention.
We just refuse to disclose it.
Day one, beautiful. I got nostalgic for home. Day two, gray and rainy. I remembered why I moved. Onward.
Nice. Also joining me on this Casual Friday, it's Eric Weedum. You know him as D-line.
There it is. The air horns like this place, this goddamn show deserved.
There we go.
And everyone, yes, this is a remote work show today. I am working remotely from the same office that we record our studio.
Yes, and thankfully, the Wi-Fi in our studio is better than the Wi-Fi in Eric's office.
Oh, is it not good? Oh,
yeah, you look horrible. Yeah.
I want to kill myself.
You guys, we got a lot on today's show. We got another update from ESPN on their NBA rank. They finally revealed the top 5 players in the NBA.
I haven't seen it. You haven't? Oh, no, wow. I'm going to react earnestly.
See, this is the great part about how you're just constantly working 24/7. When you come on the show, you actually you don't know any of the spoilers, you know.
I'm like a newborn baby. I just show up on the internet the first day. Everyone has to explain to me where things are.
The world's oldest newborn baby.
Yeah, dude. I do. Like, I have sort of a people say like I have a boyish look to my face. I would say I'm more like a newborn. I look just sort of like a fat
infantile kind of. Yeah.
All right, I can get behind that. We're with Media Day on Monday, Training Camp Tuesday. We're going to go over some of the burning questions that we absolutely need answers to at Media Day. And then stick around for segment 3. We're going to put odds on who the Nuggets Training Camp MVP is going to be for next week, which is a segment I'm really excited for. First, though, I don't know, we have a lot of new viewers who watch this show, who have come in over the last couple of playoff runs, who have just found us on YouTube. This week is actually the 3-year anniversary of DNVR. We started this whole thing 3 years ago. And we also started doing post-game shows very rarely, but we started doing them 3 years ago. There's only a couple up on YouTube. Because it's the 3-year anniversary of DNVR, I wanted to throw it back to the first ever post-game show that the DNVR Nuggets crew did. This is after opening night of the 2019-2020 regular season. It's 2 minutes. I just thought it would be nice to play it on this anniversary.
I love it.
Yair, can you roll the tape?
We're on the internet?
We're on the internet.
Holy crap. Let's do it.
We ready? Out Vanilla Porter
We're
Jr.
ready. The Vanilla Porter Jr. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the DNVR Nuggets podcast, part of the DNVR podcast network, I guess.
Sounds good to me.
We are wrapping up our first live show of the NBA season. I am joined, of course, today by Harrison Wind.
What's going on, guys? 1-0, 82-0, still on the table.
Still on the table.
102-0. Still on
102-0.
Got to include the playoffs and the preseason.
It's not an 82-game mentality anymore, guys.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Seated to my far left from DNVR Broncos, but filling in tonight to help us analyze this game, Ryan Koenigsberg.
I just wanted to be a part of a win. I wanted to know what it's like to cover a winning team.
It's his foreign territory for him.
Feels good, doesn't it?
Feels really nice.
Feels really nice. And then, of course, seated to my right, the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. 5000, Brendan Vogt.
So truly thrilled to be here. I can't lose this job.
I thought you might big time us on this podcast, this post game show after getting to 5K.
I was going to, but my ego's been placed back. I can't figure out Periscope still.
Yeah.
I like how you were dressed as a homeless, jobless person, just in case it happened.
Yeah. That's what you were going for, right?
The line on the fashion jokes. We're finding it. We're getting close. You want to know what hurts Brendan's feelings? We'll get there.
It's not this. It can't be this. This is DNVR Studio C, or the lounge set as we call it here. I hope you like what we've done with the place. We love this set. We hope to utilize it a lot throughout the season for live post-game shows, live mailbag events, just something live to interact with the audience, talk about some of the cool stuff in real time. And that's what we're going to do tonight because there's a lot of momentum. I am feeling an enormous amount of just energy and positivity because the Nuggets completely sucked and somehow got a road win anyway against a rival.
So that was 3 years ago, boys. A lot's changed in 3 years.
A lot to unpack there. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I'm glad we're still ripping Vogt for his fashion choices. That
Even though
hasn't changed.
They got substantially better, and the
You
jokes
look like a
gotten worse.
completely different person. Like your hair is different, your clothes are different.
I got a girlfriend. That's what happened between
That
then and
actually
now.
is true.
That's all that happened.
Yeah. Yeah. D-Line wasn't in that episode, but you were in the room, right?
I was in the office, just off to the side, watching the entire thing. Like I was like monitoring the Mevo. I don't know what
you were a tech guy.
I wasn't even the tech guy. I don't know what I was doing, frankly. I was just like wasn't on the show. But then I was like on every other show.
Every other show
Right.
forever.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was the first ever post-game show. I thought that was pretty interesting.
That actually predated. I was going to say that actually predated the concept of the lounge. The lounge came later when we were talking about like it was like the injury lounge. We called it like we started to call it a different lounge based on how the show went, how the game went, and then we just settled it on winners and losers.
Yeah, we were just calling it post-game show. I think that set was really dark, definitely darker than I remember. You can't really see
dark.
much.
It was nighttime in there.
Yeah. But it was the beginning of what we have today. So we've come a long way in the last 3 years. So I thought
it had me thinking, like, because someone just commented, and I agree, the lack of the air horn was just because I do it now. I did it muted just now backstage when I heard and welcome in, and it's just a reflex. I wonder when that started.
Man, that would be great to look back on when it started.
I'm
sure it had to have been after some just like vibey thing.
Yeah,
like
maybe
maximum vibe show.
Yeah, I'm gonna check the 7 again. I feel like it's in there.
I look back on YouTube. I couldn't find the 7 on YouTube. There's only a couple post-game shows from that office on YouTube. There's that one. There's a mailbag with Adam and Vogt and D-Line. You might be in that one. There's a random mailbag, and then there's just like one more post-game show. That's it.
Yo, you should search Twitter. We used to put everything on Twitter. We didn't put it on.
I tried to. It
was all Periscope stuff.
Yeah, it was Periscope. Yeah. So, anyways, that was a good look back at where we were at 3 years ago. Where we're at today, we've been talking about this list all week that ESPN's been putting out. They've been ranking the best players in the NBA. And finally today, we have the conclusion of that list. The top 5 is out. Yair, can you bring up that link? Because we're going to go through the top 5. Number 5, and this was a surprise to me.
Steph Curry's number 5?
Curry, the 5th best player in the league, D-Line.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, this is incredible. I can't believe it. I actually think that he's underrated. I'm actually kind of mad. That means that Joel Embiid is above Steph Curry? Oh, no.
Surprised by this?
I'm not surprised, but I don't know if it's accurate. I mean,
it's not accurate.
I generally like this top 5, but I don't want to do spoiler alerts because D-Line doesn't know.
Yeah.
It is a little bit. I think we do overthink him being a big part of a super team so much because the top of his resume, like the peak stuff is out of control. It's out of control. And they just won another one where he was very clearly reasons number 1, 2, and 3 that they won.
Yeah.
It does feel like I never thought Steph was better than LeBron, but it does feel like since we tried that conversation, we've almost kind of pushed him off to the side a little too much. You know, I am glad to see him above the Slim Reaper, though.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Steph Curry above Embiid, like Gorov is saying in the comments, is bullshit. Like Steph Curry should be ranked higher than Embiid. On my personal ranking, Steph Curry would be third. He'd be third on my personal rankings.
Me too.
Fifth behind Luka also, I think is crazy. Give some respect to the reigning champ.
The reigning MVP of the finals. Like he finally got that finals MVP, and he has been a unanimous MVP in this league, a unanimously voted MVP, and he's not any worse than he was then.
Right. In fact, all he's done is come back and won again.
It's crazy. This is an insane whatever.
I do think one thing about Steph, like the year where he missed his best players and they missed the playoffs, I don't think he raises a floor like Jokic and Giannis and prime LeBron does. But I think he affects a ceiling as much as anyone we've watched, you know? And at a certain point, the results have to speak for themselves.
Well, yeah, I would never put him above Jokic and Giannis, but I would put him above motherfucking Embiid and Luka.
Yeah,
I think that's fair.
With that, let's go to number 4 on this list. It's Joel Embiid.
Disgusting. Although not above Jokic, feeling good about that. Better than the number 4 player. Oh man, Joel Embiid is a difficult player for us personally to evaluate because there is much consternation and much fighting that comes at the expense of Joel Embiid and the denizens of beautiful Philadelphia, Pennsylvania that love to fight us about Joel Embiid all the time. It totally has skewed my vision of him. I recognize him as a very great player.
Yeah,
me too.
Yeah.
We all do. Yeah.
It's obnoxious to watch him fall down all the time. I don't know that I would be so annoyed if it wasn't like a Jokic versus Embiid thing all the time.
Right.
I mean, he's a great player. I would.
He's a great player. He won the scoring title last year too, and is just a dominant defender.
He's a great player.
He is.
Having to say that. I hate having to put that on wax.
I think he is the 4th best player in the league. My issue is how it's bracketed around him. I think it should be Steph at 3, Embiid at 4, and then Wonderkind at 5. But as we'll see coming up here, not how ESPN sees it.
Yeah, number 3 on this list is Luka Doncic.
Woo, Jokic in the top 2, baby. Let's go.
So I gotta give ESPN some props here. I was not expecting Jokic to be in the top 2. He is. He is in the top 2, ahead of Luka, ahead of Steph, which is surprising to me, and ahead of Joel Embiid. Luka's number 3. He was number 4 last year, so he gets bumped up 1 spot. It's tough because, like, the Mavs are such a confusing team to me.
Right.
They get to the conference finals last year. They've got all this momentum, and then they just get clearly worse this summer. So it's going to be interesting where he winds up next year. But, Luke is coming into the season with a lot of hype.
It's tough because it's still, despite results, which are there at his age. I mean, he's unbelievable, of course. Mm-hmm. There is still an awful amount of projection that's built into the way we talk about Luka.
For sure.
Having said that, the second half of that sentence is, I expect him to meet all of these projections, right? So it is kind of, we're getting there with Luka. I mean, I do think at the best of his games, he's as good as anyone night to night. Mm-hmm. I just think he's probably still got some lessons to learn as a younger player. I think mentally, emotionally, he's still got some of those Jokic lessons to learn, some leadership lessons.
Definitely.
And he doesn't need my help playing basketball, fellas, but I still think he loves bad basketball a little too much in terms of the ISO stuff. So I think he's not yet the best version of himself, but I recognize that should he hit that, we're talking about one of the very, very, very best.
Yeah, I would imagine the rationale that went into this is that Luka improved over this last season, so he should be rewarded by moving up the scale. And if he was at 4 last year, all right, we got to acknowledge the fact that he actually did improve and move into 3. I mean, he's a great player. Can't get
He's
too mad.
Incredible player.
He's incredible, and he's going to be better this year. So I get it.
Yep.
I do get it for sure.
Yep. Let's get to the top 2. Number 2, the second best player in the NBA.
There he is.
Nikola
Listen, we
Jokic.
saw it coming. We saw it coming. This is a small coronation, although truly a gutless performance from ESPN. Afraid to give the true best player in the league the flowers that he so sorely deserves. He is voted the MVP over the last 2 seasons in a very wide margin. Everybody, we sort of, even as we started to look at this list, this very important exercise of us looking at what other writers say things are.
Yes, absolutely.
We acknowledged the fact that it was going to be Giannis at number 1. We all knew that was going to happen. I don't agree with it, but listen, I'm as biased as they get. So I will take this number 2 and I will run with it.
Go ahead, Win.
I said on this show, really over this entire week, because we've been talking about this entire week, that I would not get mad if he was number 2.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to get mad. It is what it is. He should be number 1. He's not. He's number 2. It's fine. He was ranked 6th last year.
Yeah.
Coming off an MVP, he was ranked
MVP.
6th.
Yeah.
I'm going to get mad about that retroactively right now.
But that does reflect what you guys just articulated, which is him going from 6 to 2. I mean, this is as close as we've ever seen, a mainstream media piece just be like, yeah, dude. And it's really hard for us I honestly think it's really hard for us to argue Giannis. I think we're all in agreement that he's number 1, but I'm not, if someone gives me Giannis's resume, I'm not going to be like, well, I don't know. Like, it's insane. Giannis has the hardware. The run he just had without his second best player was very validating, I thought. I mean, Giannis has everything he needs to make this argument for number 1. And if someone from Milwaukee says he's number 1, I go, I hear you. I would say I think the 2 best players are Jokic and Giannis. We're from Denver. It's a lot easier for us to say back-to-back MVPs. We watch this guy every night. He's clearly number 1. But this is far from blasphemous. Giannis has earned that top spot. And I do think it's going to take Jokic winning a title for a place like ESPN to say, okay, he's taken the throne, No question.
I agree with Kevin here. Him and Giannis are in a tier alone.
I think so. Because of the floor raising thing. I don't think any players in the league,
I agree,
you can just say they're on the roster. We're at bare minimum very competitive. I think they present that more than anyone.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to hear the top 5 real quick from last year?
Sure.
It was Steph at 5, Luka 4, LeBron 3, Giannis 2, Kevin Durant 1.
Dude, no one had a bigger fall than Kevin Durant. To fall from the top to 8 is unreal.
Yeah.
In a year where he was not injured. Consider that.
Dude, I mean, when you're a play-in team and you get swept.
Oh, man.
I mean, Kyrie was with him. I know that team wasn't very good, but this is our point about the floor thing, So I don't know. I mean, I know it's not like Denver really took it to Golden State, but Jokic just presents you're in this. Even if I veil of ignorance about the rest of the roster, if all I know is this piece, you're in this thing any given night.
Yeah.
I think KD was injured a little last year, though, but yeah, just a little bit. I think so.
Okay.
Yeah,
he was. Yeah,
he was injured.
And then number 1, we've been talking about him, but Giannis is number 1 on this list. Look, we're Giannis guys on this show. We like Giannis. Yeah,
it's fine. It's great.
All right. That is the conclusion of NBA rank talk on this show.
Hey, can someone tell me where Tatum was on this list in the chat?
Oh, looking to get mad. I think he was at 7, dude. I think he was better than Kevin Durant.
Yeah, he was. We missed you on the show yesterday, though, to break that one down.
I did resurface from my Twitter break at 1 a.m. last night. There was a neat story that went down, but That's for another show.
The other piece of news that's not nearly as exciting as NBA players getting ranked, but maybe more important. The Grand Rapids Gold made the hiring of Andre Miller as their head coach official yesterday. We talked about that when the news broke. That was like a month ago or something. But Andre Miller, officially the head coach of the Grand Rapids Gold. There's also a couple new assistants. One of them, Jeff Trepagnier. I don't know how to say that last name. He's a former Nugget. Jeff T, former Nugget, played 19 games with Denver from 2002 to 2004. He was Andre Miller's teammate in 2004. So that's kind of cool. A former Nugget, only had a cup of coffee in Denver, but a former Nugget nonetheless on the Grand Rapids Gold coaching staff with Andre Miller.
I love it, man. I love keeping some sort of like Nuggets legacy in the organization. I mean, like Jason Terry was cool, but we didn't really have any connection to Jason Terry. I love that this is like Nuggets. This is like a Nuggets guy. This is a guy that played off of cunning and smarts. Like he had as much athleticism as Nikola Jokic does currently.
He's kind of the point guard version of Nikola Jokic.
He absolutely is.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you ever, the jump shots that Andre Miller would fire off, like I didn't think anyone could jump any lower than Andre Miller. And then I saw Dev shooting jump shots. Dev does not leave the earth when he shoots jump shots. It's pretty remarkable.
It's actually really true. Yeah.
It's so true.
It's Dev's jump shot just fits with his personality.
It's true. It's listen, I love it. I'm all for it. But I just love the idea that we have, some sort of lineage represented.
It's a new thing. It's still so far remote, right? So like to really hammer this idea home of this is a Nuggets affiliated team. I actually think this is a neat direction in that step. And look, I don't know how many people are buying tickets to watch that team ever, but just as far as hopping on a stream, I wonder if this is like, if you're a Nuggets fan, are you that much more interested just in checking them out because Andre Miller's in the fold?
Of course.
I think so. I think so. So this is
great. Yeah. Grand Rapids is so far removed from Denver. It's not on the complete opposite side of the country, but it's not like this team is in Colorado Springs or Broomfield or something where the Nuggets D-League team was once upon a time. So anything that can bridge that gap and connect the G League team to Denver, I think is good.
It's great.
This does that.
Yeah, this finally feels like our G League team as opposed to a G League team that we are begrudgingly affiliated with.
And this is a guy who he kind of checks both boxes of had a lot of pizzazz as a player, have some sweet highlights, but he was very good, but he also did the survive as a vet thing, right? Figure out how to stay in the league for a long time. So there's a what is the expression? A wealth of experience? Is that
sure?
Is that it?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
That he has that he can sort of impart to those players. You never know for sure how it translates. Such a high IQ player, does it mean the same thing when you're coaching? I don't know, but if he's committed to this, we know he's got a successful career and a successful approach to the game of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
No question.
Listen to this stat from Andre Miller because people will forget, definitely the younger generation, that he was a great NBA point guard. Andre Miller is just one of 8 players in NBA history to record at least 16,000 points, 8,500 assists, and 4,500 rebounds in their career. The list of those 8 players is LeBron James, Oscar Robertson, Russell Westbrook, Gary Payton, Chris Paul, Magic Johnson, Jason Kidd, and Andre Miller.
That's my new favorite list. That's awesome.
That's a crazy stat.
Yeah. He played a long goddamn time. He did forever. I love Andre Miller. That's George Karl's favorite player.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I just can't wait for the knowledge that Andre Miller can have trickle down onto whatever players the Nuggets sent to Grand Rapids.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Let's hit a break. On the other side, we're going to preview Media Day, which is Monday. We're back, guys. We're back in the on season. We'll preview some of the questions that we're hoping to get answers to at Media Day on the other side.
Evoca TV. They're good friends of ours. I mean, they've helped us out. Let's be honest. We wanted to get to Serbia. That doesn't happen without Ivaca's belief, sponsorship, investment in us, in Serbia, and in some of that content we've already produced, the content that is coming down the line. But it's not just about that content. I mean, what's the most important content there is on this show? It's the games themselves. It's the Nuggets playing basketball. Distressingly, confusingly hard to do in Denver lately. Not so much anymore with Ivaca TV. The new GOAT in Colorado sports wants you to have your favorite teams, your coverage of your favorite teams, all in one place, all in one affordable bundle. So check out Ivaca TV by going to evoca.tv, evoca.tv/Colorado10. And know that if you're a Colorado sports fan, you're getting $25 a month. You're getting $10 off per month, of the original price, which is $25 a month, plus a $5 receiver fee. So get yourself hooked up with Ivaca. Skip out on the billionaire slap fight. Your favorite teams, your favorite coverage, all in one place. Get yourself hooked up with Ivaca. And whether or not the Nuggets are playing basketball, the Broncos are playing football, you can always have skin in the game thanks to DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook and also an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Obviously, the NFL season is back, and DraftKings is talking touchdowns, big plays, and even bigger wins. New customers can bet just $5 on any NFL team to win. They get $200 in free bets if they do. And if that's not enough, everyone, not just new users, but everyone can boost their winnings with DraftKings stepped-up same-game parlays. For every leg you add, you can boost your winnings up to 100% with payouts bigger than ever. Why would you bet on football anywhere else? Do it with DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download that app now. Use promo code DNVR to get $200 in free bets if your team wins when you place a $5 bet on any football game. That's code DNVR only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See those show notes for details.
All right, and we're back. Here on the DNVR Nuggets podcast, the DNBA show. We're presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Use code DNVR when you sign up and download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Guys, on Monday, Media Day at Ball Arena. Tuesday, training camp starts in San Diego. We'll be out there giving you guys all the coverage that you need for that. But Monday, we'll be here for Media Day. It's the official, kickoff of the season. Media Day, it's like the first day of school. Everybody's in a good mood. Everybody's optimistic. I don't think anybody's hurt yet.
Everyone's wearing their best outfit.
Yeah, everybody's, got their uniform tucked in.
Yep.
The vibes are great. If the vibes aren't immaculate at Media Day, it's going to be a really bad season. But I expect the vibes to be great on Monday. But with that being said, there's a lot of questions that I've got on my mind heading into Media Day. So I thought we could go over those here and just kind of talk about what we're expecting, what we're hoping to hear. The first one that I have on the top of my mind is, what's this team's mindset going to be? And I'm thinking about the championship mindset that we've all had all summer. And I'm curious to see how that comes across on Monday. I think back to what Michael Malone said at the end of last season, after last season was over, and how he just totally put the theme of this offseason and this coming season just right out there in front of anybody. He said, windows only stay open for so long. We have to capitalize when we have a special player like Nikola. And I think he was talking to a lot of people with that quote. I think he was talking to Calvin Booth, who would later become the GM and decision maker. I think he was talking to his players too, that we have to attack this summer and next season with this championship mindset. So I'm curious to hear, and I'm wondering how Malone's going to set the tone again when he speaks on Monday, because he definitely said it really strongly when he made those comments after last season. I don't think he's going to pass up another opportunity to do that at Media Day. Vote, what kind of tone do you think he's going to try to set on Monday?
I think he's going to pick up right where he left off. Totally. It might have a little bit more of a relaxed feel to it, right? Like those first day of summer camp vibes, of course. There's excitement in the air, right? Mm-hmm. Especially for teams like Denver who know. I mean, some teams are signing up for an 82-game slog, and Denver is signing up for what you sign up for as top tier competitors. This is the kind of season you hope to enter. So I'm sure there will be excitement in the air. I think Malone will drill that same message home. Curious to see how uniformly that sentiment is echoed across the roster, particularly with Jokic, who always kind of seems to zig when everyone else is zagging in terms of narrative and messaging. But we've talked about it a lot this summer. Teams like Phoenix had it in the regular season. Teams like Golden State have had it for 7 years. There's a middle ground between this palpable professionalism, but a dose of joy in there as well. And we want to see them kind of bring that to just every sort of media availability and every game, I think.
D-Line, do you think the Nuggets are going to be locked in from opening night of the regular season, or do you think it might take some time for them to like fully come together?
Well, I mean, you've got to remember you're reintegrating two very important pieces in the starting lineup for guys that were out all last season in Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. You're integrating a brand new piece in Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and then you have the stalwarts of the offense that are going to still be there, and on the defensive side. I think it's going to take a little bit of time. These guys, Nikola isn't even playing with those guys yet. Like, we haven't seen them scrimmage together. And, I don't think that there is a more unique experience in the NBA than playing alongside Nikola Jokic. So there probably is going to be a little bit of learning, particularly for a guy like KCP, who's, played with basically ball vacuums for a lot of his life. Like he's played with LeBron James, he's like guys is like black holes. And like, this is actually going to be like, we're actually like really counting on like, you need to get open. You need to make sure you're in the right spot, et cetera, et cetera. All that to be said, like I don't expect them to be hitting on all cylinders right out of the gate, but I think that they'll be good. I think that there's enough there, like the raw basketball talent that has been assembled that's going to be able to, just gel with Jokic, and that he could just get you an open shot. If you can knock it down, you'll be fine. So. Mm-hmm. I don't think we'll see their final form till, like months into the season, but sure. I think it'll be good.
Yeah, I think they will take a little bit of time to come together, but I still think they're going to be really, really good right off the bat. Like I think they're going to open up the season on fire. I really do, but they still might not hit their peak for a little bit. Incorporating a new starter like KCP, like you said, D-Line, that's a big storyline because they didn't have to do that last year. Yeah. Last year, they came back with the same starting five that they did from the previous season. They've got a new starter this year. They've got Bruce Brown, who I would call their – I don't know if I want to call him their sixth or seventh man. Sure. Who's going to be playing a big role, who wasn't here last year. Getting him incorporated will take some time. So maybe a little – bit of growing pains off the bat, but I think they're going to be really good out of the gate.
I think you guys know in baseball, you warm up with the donut on the bat and you take it off and you feel like a superhero. I mean, Jokic playing offense with those guys again, even if they're at like 40%, it's going to be like taking 3 donuts off the bat, man. He's just going to feel like he can breathe through 2 lungs again. So I think you guys are absolutely right about whatever that top performance is from a contender. It's going to take maybe half a season to get there. But what's exciting is this team now has both the baseline of Jokic and enough aggregate talent to just, even at suboptimal play, survive a lot of games. So I think they're going to have a pretty competitive record out of the gate.
Yeah, absolutely. Something else I'm very curious to learn about on Monday. What's the roadmap for Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr.? How much are they playing in the preseason? How much are they playing in the regular season right off the bat? Is Jamal Murray going to sit back-to-backs? Is he going to potentially miss that second game in Golden State on ESPN so he can play the next night in Denver's home opener at home against Oklahoma City? Like, how careful are the Nuggets going to be with those guys? How many days off are they going to get? How many minutes are they going to play? I'm just curious about what the roadmap is going to be with both MPJ and Jamal Murray, because judging off the stuff we've seen, they look great. I'm curious to see what Michael Malone has planned for them, though.
Definitely.
Yeah, me too. The other thing I kind of want to ask about is the rotation, particularly the backup center. And I know, again, it's not a massive part of the season, but
For us, it is though.
It's not small. You know?
Yeah, it's a part of it. It's probably the biggest question on the roster, right? In terms of like, are there good answers there? I think other spots there are questions, but you feel fine about multiple answers. This one. So is the plan to play DeAndre right out of the gate? You know, are they going to let us know that? Have they decided that? That's something I want to know. Although I admit it's a couple bars below. How does Jamal Murray look? That one a little more important.
Yeah.
Is Boogie Cousins in the league currently?
No,
He's a free agent.
he's a free agent.
What the age? What are we doing? DeAndre Jordan? All right, whatever. Let's move on.
Why is he a free agent?
What is happening?
He was great last year for the Nuggets, but is not on an NBA roster.
Is he
Now,
asking
why
for
would
too
that
much
be?
money? Is he asking for too much money?
Is he a problem in? Never mind.
Yeah.
What is the deal here? I think what you said, Vote, about the backup center thing, that can probably go into the question of what are the positional battles to watch for.
Right. Yep, you're right.
What's going to happen at backup center? I think maybe we'll get some clarity for that on Monday, if it's DeAndre Jordan's job or if there's a competition there. I think the latter might be true. Backup point guard, is that Bones Highland's job? Is there a competition there with him and Ish Smith? I wouldn't be surprised if the latter is true there as well, just to give just Bones some competition early on in camp.
Can there not be a position battle between Bones and Ish Smith? Just my feeling on the matter.
I know.
Do we
right?
need
Can
to?
we just, yeah,
Do we
right.
need
Like,
to?
is there a position battle between Jamal Murray and KCP? Or can we just say Bones is the backup point?
But I agree with Wynn that Malone, if he talks about position battles, he'll throw that one in there.
Yeah, I think so too. Backup small forward, another interesting position battle.
As in, they still don't have any.
Yeah. So I hope we get some answers on that. Another question and another guy I'm curious to talk to is Aaron Gordon. Curious to talk to him about his summer, what he focused on, and more specifically, if he did anything to try to raise his basketball IQ. Because if you remember, guys, after the Nuggets were eliminated in Golden State last season, Aaron Gordon said, I really need to raise my basketball IQ, to try to get on a similar level to Jokic. He didn't say this exactly, but just to mesh and fit with him better, I need to raise my basketball IQ. So I'm curious to hear if he's done anything to do that.
And D-Line, when I heard that seems like a hard thing to just sort of work on in the off season, doesn't it? Like, what does that mean? Like watching film?
My favorite part of every offseason in the NBA is that you can fix anything you're bad at. Like, if you can't shoot, it's like, oh, he's got to fix his jumper. Like, what do you think he's been shooting his entire life up to this point? I don't know how you decide to get smarter than you get smarter. He lowered his social IQ the last couple of weeks. I don't know if he needs to improve his basketball IQ. Like, I don't know what that means. Like, what does that mean? Like,
I honestly
think process things faster. You need to acknowledge the plays are being run. Like, what are we doing here?
I think, and I also think there's a 0% chance this is happening. One-on-one film sessions with Jokic. I think they should look at plays where Gordon made the wrong choice and Jokic should break down the play, and they should talk about it.
Oh, man.
There's no chance that's happening.
None.
Right. Zero. There's a less than 0% chance.
But it would be at the top of my power rankings of like off-season developments. I would lose my mind.
I mean, there's something maybe to be said about like not just being like, oh, I got to jump over that guy. Like every time if you're now you're like, oh, okay, I should like maybe position myself in a place where rebounds generally bounce from that position. Or I don't know. Who knows? To me, it just sounds ludicrous, the idea that you could just raise your IQ because you've decided to. But
I agree.
What the fuck do I know?
I would think watching a lot of film, like you were getting at, Vote, is the best way to do that.
Yeah.
Looking at specific examples of me not reading the floor correctly, me not being in the right spot when Yoke has the ball, me not, playing off him correctly or reading the defense right, correcting those, that's easy to see in film. That's tough to replicate, on the practice court. Just being in those exact same situations. Right. I made this read last time. Now I need to. It's tough, like you guys are saying. Yeah. Vote. You excited for anything else on Monday, or what are you hoping to find out Monday?
Well, I always care about muscle watch.
Sure. Calf watch season, particularly. I approach muscle watch season different than everyone else. I'm focused on the lower body. Who's your crosshairs right now? Who are you looking for?
I'm curious about Christian Brown's calf. We saw him in Summer League. Do they look different though? I mean, I know his body is in a different stratosphere now, but what is he skipping leg day? I gotta know. What about
what's Bruce Brown working with? Do we know?
I like I bet his calves actually that's a good like dark horse best calves.
Let's go.
Yeah. Oh, we've got calf takes. I think I am also curious if we hear about and to what extent there were off-season meetups, who was working with who's been in touch with who. I'm kind of a sucker for that stuff. I don't know how much it translates or matters, but if we're talking about the championship mentality, that to me sounds like due diligence. Were you guys together this summer, right? Was it a unified effort to improve and spend time with each other?
Mm-hmm. D-Line, you curious about anything at Media Day?
I am, as you know, led in all parts of my life by vibes.
That's right.
I want you to be a vibometer of what's going on with the Denver Nuggets. Where are the vibes? Are people feeling vibey? Or is there a noted lack of vibes in the building? I would expect things to be vibey because we've got a lot of new players. We got a lot of new excitement in the building. A lot of people getting to really wrap their head around the idea that they get to play with the number 2 best player in the NBA, Nikola Jokic. So
guys coming to Denver to play with the second best player in the league. You got to love it.
Like, I just want to know how the vibes are, man. Like, I feel like everything else is really going to sort itself out, but I just kind of, I want the curtain to be pulled back.
I am predicting the vibes to be a 10 out of 10.
Oh,
I think they're going to be incredible.
Me too. I think
they're going to be on a different level, I almost think, than we've ever seen. Definitely better than last year. The vibes were not great last year, obviously, with Jamal being out and some other injury questions looming in the ether. This year, they're going to be at an entirely different level, I think, from what we've seen in the past.
I mean, I love the hypothesis. I just want the on the ground level reporting on vibes.
Mm-hmm. We might need a vibe meter. Can you make that graphic for us, please?
Yes, I can.
Yes, I'll do it during segment 3.
Yeah, I feel like with the point you were bringing up, you were just asking to make a vibe meter.
I was. I basically, every conversation I have, I see if there's some way I can do work as a result of the conversation. So, yes.
Beautiful. Let's hit another break. On the other side, who might be the Nuggets training camp MVP? I think we should put some odds on the contenders for that.
Oh boy,
this is right up Wynn's alley. Hey guys, Breckenridge Brewery, they're the official beer of DNVR, official brewery of DNVR. They're our friends, they're our homies, and they want you to know about this here hootenanny. Breckenridge Brewery has a birthday coming up, 32 years young. And to celebrate, they're throwing a weekend-long hootenanny. You know that's appealing just by calling it a hootenanny instead of a party. You're halfway there already. Kick off the fall with live music, food, beer, and of course, and games. Be there October 8 and 9 at their Littleton location. They've got national acts like Spin Doctors, Baby, and local favorites Railroad Earth rocking out. So Spin Doctors, man, I'm going. Stay tuned to everything DNVR for hootenanny giveaways leading up to October 8th. Check out the link in the description or breckbrew.com for more details on tickets and artist lineups. Ladies, fellas, folks of all ages, identifications. If you're ever in a car crash that wasn't your fault and you've got medical bills, injuries, I can speak from experience. That is half the trauma of that is not just the car accident. It's the bureaucratic nightmare you go through and the financial nightmare you go through after the fact. And then not all of us have people looking out for us. Not all of us know sort of how to handle those situations. That's what Travis Legal Offices is for. They're a family-run law firm experienced in Colorado personal injury cases and insurance disputes. And they have attorneys who are educated locally at DU and CU law schools and a staff that has more than 35 years of experience in handling personal injury cases. Call Travis Legal Offices today at 303-766-8766. You'll get a free consultation on your personal injury matter. One more time, that's 303-766-8766. You can also reach out 24/7 on the web at travislegaloffices.com. It's scary. It's difficult to go through this. Don't go through it alone. Go through it with Travis Legal in your corner.
Man, can I just say my favorite thing about the world is that the insurance companies you are legally required to pay them for their services. And then when you actually need them to help you out, you need a lawyer to make sure that you actually get the money that you need. And you're like, hey, where's all that money that we paid you? You're like, oh, we have 15 commercials during every football game. Didn't you like Flow? They're like, no, we don't like Flow. Stop showing us fucking Flow. Give us the money when we get in a fucking accident. How's that sound?
It's a nightmare how being in an accident is your fault bureaucratically. So that's what Travis Legal Offices is for.
Didn't you see our hilarious new commercial starring frogs? You're like, yeah, it was annoying.
With that, welcome back into the DNVR
Let's
Nuggets
go!
podcast, the DNVA show. We're presented. There it is. By DraftKings Sportsbook. Use the code DNVR when you sign up and download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Guys, we've got training camp kicking off Tuesday in San Diego. We'll be out there covering it, of course. But with every training camp comes a potential training camp MVP.
Ooh.
Last year, from my notes that I have, the MVP of training camp was Aaron Gordon.
Oh, okay. All right.
The year before that, from my notes in 2020, it was PJ Dozier.
You were right on that one, right?
Yeah.
You got that one right?
I don't know if I got it right. I don't know. I don't have any notes on the winners before that. I just have the last 2 years. But Dozier and Aaron Gordon have been the quote-unquote training camp MVP the last couple of years. Do you guys have a pick of who you think might be training camp MVP? D-Line, you want to go first?
Jamal Murray is going to be the training camp MVP. He is ready to get back. He is taking the training wheels off. He is knocking off all of the dust. He's going to come back. We saw in that video, he was dunking with authority. He needs to reestablish his place on this team. So Jamal Murray is going to come in hot. Watch.
D-Line, I agree with you. 100%.
Let's go.
He's my favorite for training camp MVP. I'll just put a minus 100 line on there. I think Jamal Murray's going to have a great training camp, and I think he's going to step into a leadership role. I think he's going to try to take command of this team, and from what we've seen, he's been looking great, and I just expect him to really stand out at camp. So my early vote is for Jamal Murray. Usually this goes to a role player, but I just think it might be setting up for Jamal Murray to be the talk of camp.
Fellas, I've got a 5-pepper take that I actually kind of somewhat believe.
Let's go.
Okay.
I'm ready.
DeAndre Jordan.
What?
What?
He's bringing the energy.
Get out of here.
There's leadership. There's damage control on the signing. There's damage control on the signing because he shows up to camp. He's active. He's playing hard. He's playing defense. He's talking on defense. He's talking to the rooks. And you know what? This will be the peak of his season. This will be as high as
Jordan
stonks get. But DeAndre Jordan training camp stonks are going to be through the roof. He's the MVP.
If DeAndre Jordan is the training camp MVP, I am terrified for this fucking season. I do not want to watch it.
If DeAndre Jordan's the training camp MVP, the vibes that we talked about that are going to be on a 10 at media day are going down. That's a vibe killer, I think.
No, I disagree. I think they're going to sell us on how dope it is to have DeAndre around.
Oh my God. Bro,
I'm not saying it's going to be dope. I'm just saying that's going to be the messaging.
There is, you know how many guesses it would have taken me to get to you selecting DeAndre Jordan as the prohibitive favorite for the MVP of training camp, dude. How many
I didn't
players
even
are
have
team?
him on the
15?
list here.
It would have given me 15 guesses.
It's gonna be great when he no-shows training camp.
He starts playing rugby full time.
Oh my god, dude! Or he just retires. One of those three.
Okay.
I'm not even first taking you. I kind of think this could happen. I
Wow.
really do.
Well, if you call it, yeah, we're gonna have to do something special.
I'm glad this is being recorded. At least we can refer back to this in humorous ways later.
What? Have I ever been wrong live on the internet before?
Okay, so I agree with D-Line. I think Jamal Murray is the favorite. I have him pegged as the favorite. My next guy with the next shortest odds that I have here, just put him at plus 100. Bruce Brown.
Yep.
Bruce Brown.
Absolutely.
Actually,
Because Bruce Brown, I think, is similar to PJ Dozier in a lot of ways. And PJ Dozier he does a lot of things, plays defense, plays his role. He does a lot of things that will stand out. He's still trying to get over that.
Can't get over this.
It's gonna be awesome when it happens.
The same way that PJ Dozier has stood out at training camp, I think Bruce Brown will stand out in that same way. He's going to be great defensively, play with a lot of different lineups. Offensively, I think he's better than people give him credit for because he's been in Brooklyn on a team with a couple stars and just hasn't been able to really showcase, I think, a lot of the things he can do. I think Michael Malone is going to love Bruce Brown. I think he might be the Nuggets sixth man this year. I think he's got a great shot to be training camp MVP.
Ooh. I think my number 2 in the clubhouse, for the same reason, the same rationale as Jamal Murray, is Michael Porter Jr.
Whoa.
I believe
Wow.
That's
Michael
hotter than
Porter,
Jordan, bro.
Michael Porter Jr. will want to come back and show all of the Nuggets that he can be counted upon, that his jump shot is back, that he is that dude, that he is here alongside Jamal Murray to put the rest of the league on notice and to bring us back to the heights that we were experiencing for 8 beautiful games. Michael Porter Jr. Can't wait to see it. Let's go.
I think Michael Porter Jr. is more likely to win a league MVP than a training camp MVP, but you never know. You never know. I'm gonna go with a probably slightly more popular pick this time around.
Oh my, Adonis Arms.
We're already hearing just from the streets. I'm not trying to get sauced up here, but streets are talking. Bones Highland.
Oh, dude, yes, easy.
Bones Highland has a big role coming up. I think Bones Highland has a big training camp coming up as well.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been on like an and one mixtape tour since the
For real, dude.
Since the season ended.
Yeah, Bones is trying to put out more YouTube content than us. I think
he
that's
is.
his goal right now.
He is.
He is. Harrison.
Okay, next up here, I've got a third guy that I have pegged as my third most likely to get training camp MVP. That's Aaron Gordon. Yeah, I just think Aaron Gordon is, ever since he got to Denver, I just feel like he's been constantly ascending almost. And 2 full years into being a Denver Nugget, I just feel like he's comfortable and he's confident. And it seems like he had a great offseason. And I just expect him to have a big preseason. So I've got him at, what do I got him at? Plus 150, third shortest odds on my book. So we'll see. But I got high expectations for Aaron Gordon this season. He is in the perfect role again, just like he was when he got traded here for those first couple games. So predicting AG to repeat as training camp MVP potentially.
How do we feel about what we expect to see out of KCP? I feel like training camp MVP is a place where people prove it to guys that don't maybe know them as well. So I'm looking at all of the newcomers as guys that are going to put in extra work. Like, we know who the MVP of training camp is not going to be, and that is Nikola Jokic. He's not going to put the work in. He shouldn't put the work in. If he is training camp MVP, that's bad. But Bruce Brown, KCP, and by extension, Jamal Murray essentially being reintroduced to this team. Michael Porter Jr., same thing. DeAndre Jordan, the prohibitive favorite in the clubhouse, brand new player. So I don't know. As Carlos says, what about Zeke too? Zeke feels like a guy with a lot to prove also.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot to prove. Definitely a big training camp for him.
Davon Reed. Is this where he sneaks back into Malone's graces? And do we hear a lot about him having a big time?
There's no way he can jump over Bruce Brown, though. Bruce Brown feels like a more skilled version of Davon Reed, having never seen him play in a Nuggets.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be anybody else. I can't see it being one of the rookies, really.
No.
Even though I love me some Jack White, I just can't see it being him.
No, but he could be not MVP, but he's like day one or day two. Like, who's standing out so far? Well, I'll tell you what, Jack White's out there doing all the dirty work.
Yeah, he could be Mr. Training Camp.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Zeke, I think Zeke should have some great moments at training camp. He's in a position battle, I think.
I would be encouraged.
Got a lot to prove.
Where is Zeke for you? Like, who's your number one? Like, if you hear that's training camp MVP, you go, that's good news. That's good news for this season.
Jamal Murray. Right? Or Michael Porter. Those would be the two for sure. But yeah, if Zeke Naji was balling out and he's the backup center and he's just firmly in the rotation, that'd be pretty cool.
Pretty exciting, yeah.
That would be really cool. Yeah. All right. I think that's all we got for today, guys. Fun show. Thanks for hanging out with us on this casual Friday. Next week, training camp is in full swing. We got Media Day Monday. We got training camp starting Tuesday in San Diego. We'll be live with a full week of shows, of course. Hit the like button before you guys get out of here. We'll talk to you on Monday.